Ag PhD full episodes and more are now available on Acres TV, the newest ag platform connecting you to fields of information. Look for us on watchacrestv.com.
During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk a little bit about how farmers farm in rocky soil conditions. It's definitely different than what we deal with on our farm.
You know what's neat though? You read back thousands of years ago in the Bible, and this is what a lot of times when a warring country came into another country, they would throw rocks on purpose out in their good farm ground to make it tough to farm out there. Wow, if you're farming a field that has all these rocks, you may say, this is like biblical times. I've got all these rocks. How am I going to farm around them?
Well, think about all the things we talk about here on the show. Everything from tillage to we want a deep place fertilizer. We need to plant this seed accurately. Oh, we're going to do some tiling out there. All these things are much, much more difficult. Well, heck, even combining. If I want to combine a field of soybeans and I want to run that head right on the ground, what am I going to do? Suck up rocks that whole time? It's a real challenge.
Well, it sure is. So there's a lot of different ways that farmers will work around this. So one thing, let's just say the rocks are pretty small. Farmers like to harvest crops and they keep their combine head or their harvesting head really low to the ground so they can catch all the seed. Well, if there's rocks popping up, it's going to damage their equipment. So one of the things farmers will use is a roller, and they'll roll the ground and push the rocks down in so at least they've got a flat surface to work with.
As far as the tillage that I was describing, most people end up just going no-till. If they try strip till, it's really shallow strip till. They'll use coulters instead of using shanks. They try to avoid any of the deep stuff. Now, with a tile plow, that's not quite so bad because you're pulling one single shank. Let's say it's every 50 feet or maybe even every 100 feet. So we had a field that was rocky one time, and basically we'd end up hitting rocks sometimes where we'd have to stop. And what we decided is rather than dig up that rock, we would literally just go back a little ways, 10 or 20 feet, cut the tile line there, attach there, and then try to go around the rock. That was much better because if you pull out great big rocks, you have a big depression in your soil. You don't really want that either.
Yeah, that can be a challenge, but let's say the rocks are a size that you can actually just go out and pick them up. A lot of farmers will stop the tractor. If they're in a field that just has a few rocks here and there, they'll stop, they'll get out, pick up the rock if they see one, or maybe they'll have a kid ride along in the tractor.
That's what I was going to say. That was the kid's job.
Send the kid out to go get that rock. But you can do that if there's only a few. Now, it seems like there's always more rocks that come up, Brian,
Yep.
and that is the challenge. So a lot of guys that have some marginally rocky ground really like doing reduced tillage so they're not trying to bring any more rocks to the surface.
And they may get a rock picker, and that's just one of the standard things that they do. But yes, unfortunately, you'll see piles of rocks at the end of the field. People aren't just doing that for decoration or for fun. They are doing that because they want to farm the ground and have fewer breakdowns and fewer repairs.
Well, farmers really don't want to see rocks out in the field, and they also don't want to see our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?